So, 2025 comes to an end. It's been a difficult year to explain. I don't really know where to begin to explain it. Channel-wise, it hasn't gone as I hoped. I had a good first year, and then the channel basically just died off. I don't know why, but it's obvious that it is a decision of YouTube to not show my channel to everyone. I mean, you can't even find it necessarily when you search terms that are unique for my channel. So something is going on for sure, and that has been a bummer. I had hoped that the channel would have been more available to people. On my personal life front, well, it's been hard. I lost my little cat, and that hurt so much when it happened. He was a good friend of mine for 15 years in some of my absolute worst spots ever. He was, the companion who was there. I know, it's just a pet. But anybody who has had a pet in bad spots knows it's a good, loyal company. It's there, it gives you that sense of comfort that we all need, the basic need. So it was really, really hard. And it still pains me, but it gets better. It does. Time doesn't heal, but time makes wounds close up and, hopefully not scar too bad. It's also been the year when I've cut ties with 3 people. One was a friend I really didn't care much about. She was just being incredibly annoying, actually. She didn't listen to what I said, and she kind of tried to dominate things with being, punish me with things and stuff like that. And she obviously didn't listen to anything I said. She made up her own mind about things. And that was annoying, and I got fed up. So when she said, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Fine, let's end this. I think she didn't really expect me to respond that way. I did. So that was that. And then was the friend that just disappeared, who decided to vanish into thin air when I lost my cat. That hurt. And I can't forgive that. We haven't had any contact since then, and I don't want any more contact, because you don't pay like that. It doesn't matter what happened in your life. I can't read minds. So if something happened in your life, well, then you need to tell people that. You knew I lost my cat, and in that moment, you decided whatever was going on in your life was more important. And you didn't even let me know, so fuck you. Yeah, I'm bitter about that, because it was a person I really liked. It was. And then it was the question about my ex, whom I had still contact and obvious feelings for. I probably do. But a couple of, 3 months ago, she let me know that she was going out on a date with someone, and then I had to cut it. I had to cut the ties. So going from, phone call once or twice every week, I cut the ties. And I feel that's the right thing to do. It's sad and it hurts, but the thought of her annoys me now more. I went from the missing and longing part to the, a bit pissed part. I feel like I genuinely wasted many years of my life with this person, and I got really hurt and really sick from my years with her. That she is the reason I fell deep into borderline. On the other hand, she's also the reason I figured out that I had borderline. So It's the mixed thing that. But I don't know if I can resume contact with her again. I don't know. Not now. Maybe sometime in the future, if I have, someone new to occupy my mind, to have healed me emotionally. Basic human needs. I think that. I heal on my own as well, but you know what I mean. That smothering of scars that only a new love maybe can fix. People say you shouldn't move on before you're healed. I call bullshit on that. I call nonsense. Not every person who is still a bit broken from a previous relationship is going to heal on his or her own. I have a friend who became heartbroken in his early 20s when his probably love of his life left him, and he never found anybody else again, and he didn't even try. And I'm pretty sure he became permanently scarred and so on from the choice of not trying even to find someone new. I think you can change in a bad way that way and become a lonesome person that maybe should have found someone. I don't think it's good. And I think we heal best together with someone. It's the unresolved things that is the issue, not being healed. So there's that. And yeah, I don't know what the future is going to do about this, how it's going to change my perspective on my ex. I hope one day we can normalize it and just be, shitty chatty friends and so on. That would be nice. But I'm not there. I'm not there at all. I want nothing to do with her now. And I don't think I want it anytime close. Because she is, the poison that made me sick. She is. So I will stay away from that. I will try to convince myself that I'm okay. Not until I really, really feel it. And I think the point is where I actually don't think about her anymore. I think that is the healing point, when I'm healed enough. But I still do. I still notice her on social media and so on. And it brings up annoyance now rather than hurt. I think that is good. I think I've slowly moved on to a new stage. And I'd rather be bitter about her than hurt. Hurt and longing. So, out of sight, out of mind. That is the key. And she's not 100% out of sight, out of mind, because as I just said, we see each other on social media. We do. She's not very active there, but I am, and I notice that she sometimes look at my stuff. But yeah, I don't care. I really don't care that she does. That is okay by me. She is far enough away from me, out of sight, out of mind. I don't want to stretch it to absurdities, because then you obviously have some problem. And it's not that. She's like, she feels a bit like a mine. I don't want to step on it. That's how I can compare it with. Is she a little trap? Is she a little booby trap? If I go there, I will get hurt again. Go there as in trying to just be a friend, and I will get hurt again. I think so. And I will stay away from now on. So, 3 lost people. 2 friends, 1 ex. And my cat. One hell of a crappy year, for sure, on that part. At the same time, it's been the year when I also kind of found my path in life. I realized what I wanted to do, and it felt right. It still feels right, and I don't know for sure because I haven't started yet my 3-year university degree to become a occupational therapist. I don't know if that is the right choice. It feels like it is on paper, and I'm committed, and I feel this is it. You're finally going to grow up and become something, and it's going to be probably your last job, at least your last committed education. It feels okay. I feel focused. I feel ready to study. What worries me are some practical things. Financing this thing. I live on the benefit of my old folks, actually. I think I mentioned it before. It's a crucial part of my existence is I need their support. And they are old. And selfishly, I recognize the danger of them actually, disappearing. They're not that healthy, not that unhealthy either, but, so very selfishly, I'm worried that I might end up, alone and then not being able to finish my education. That worries me a lot. And I know it's a selfish thing to think, but I can't help think it. I feel like it's the strategical and logical and cold reasoning way of thinking. And I don't really have a good backup plan if it fails. I don't. Not really. not a solid one, at least. I have one backup plan, and that's not a good one at all. I mean, that's falling back to what I'm doing right now, and maybe get some extra job as a administrator. But that's not a good looking outcome on the job market for that. And yeah, you might end up, having to sell this house they live in. They are old, and if one of them passes, I don't know if we can manage, me and the other, to finish, to handle this house, the cost. And then I might have to end up, seeking help from the government and so on, Social Security. And then you can't have a house, and you have to sell it, and all that kind of crappy things that can happen. That is, I feel ashamed to think about, but it is on my mind. I've been very much occupied on outcomes and stuff like that, things that can happen and will happen and so on. I'm not naive. I'm making a 3-year plan now, and in that 3-year plan I must have contingencies if something happens. I must. So I must think about these things. As the responsible, albeit quite, selfish and so on perspective, but I do. But in all this gloom, I am still, looking positive on the future. I'm feeling stronger mentally than I have been in years. I can't even remember feeling this strong. I feel like I'm getting very much more independent emotionally. That feeling of, abandonedness and basically the personality disorder of being dependent, all of that feels way gone now. It doesn't feel there. I felt a lot of fear of being abandoned before, as is one of the criteria for borderline and personality disorders in general today, as the new definitions of this exist. But I don't. I really don't anymore. And that's a good feeling. I've healed in so many ways this last year alone. I knew that healing from borderline is a long process with many steps. But it's interesting to seeing these steps develop. I mean, first was the depression when it disappeared. That was the first step. And then the general feeling of stability in your mind, not just going up and down all the time, but feeling a lot more stable. And then this, a feeling of strength in my mind. I feel I'm as strong, if not stronger, than most people I know mentally. And that is a strange feeling. It's on the cusp of feeling, am I okay? Am I, almost lacking empathy and being psychotic? But no, I don't. I still cry when I see kitten and movies on, reels on Instagram, and all those things. I still I'm easily affected by things. So it's not that. It's just when pressed, I feel a lot stronger than I ever had in my entire life. I can stand up for myself. I can just be a strong adult. It's that awareness feeling that you're in command of the situation, of the room, that is different. I don't feel insecure in the same way as I did in just a couple of years ago. I like that feeling. I like this new self. I'm hopeful for the future, but I'm not naive. Let's put it that way. I know there are lumps and bumps ahead of me, and a lot of stuff is going to be difficult. And there's lots of dangers ahead. So, in all of this, I've tried, to find a partner, someone to share the burden with mentally and emotionally and so on. I went on a date on, this last Friday, actually. It was a good date. We had a lot of fun, but we didn't connect on a emotional level. And I think that was a good thing, because we've chatted on afterwards, and you kind of, when people let the guard down after you decided, no, let's not pursue this, but let's stick to be friends. When that guard has come down, you start to notice things about people that you didn't see first. And seeing these things, yeah, this person definitely wasn't suited for me. This is one of those people that are, how should I put this, toxically looking for happiness. People who don't like when you talk about dark subjects. And they try to, let's not talk about this, no, let's talk about something happy instead. That kind of behavior. I didn't see that before, but I do now. Just today, we had this discussion where she didn't like me addressing future topics because it was so sad. And she tried to make it like I was in a gloomy and troubled spot when I said, I'm okay. I like discussing these things. But she, she kept on sticking to this point that let's not discuss these things. It's not, I don't like it. Well, she didn't use those words, but you know what I mean. She tried to make it sound like it was not good for me. But in the actual case, it was probably a lot more her struggling with this. Toxic happiness. People who just avoid reality completely and happy with that. I mean, good for them that they're happy, but hey, you need to do these things. And for a person like me, who has been forced to confront way more darker things than this in the last few years. It annoys me. It annoys me greatly when someone is this reluctant to discuss things in a serious manner. And I realize, nope, that's not a person for me. I need someone you can unfilteredly speak about things with. And that no topic, no matter how dark it is off limits. I need that type of girl in my life. And yeah, those are unicorns. I've noticed as much. It took my ex actually many years to open up about bad stuff that happened to her. So I know a lot of people compartmentalize these things and just kept, stow them away and don't ever talk about bad things. And yeah, then you have a mine, a troop mine laying there in your mind, waiting to go off. That's not good. You disarm these things by looking at them and kicking them in their nuts. Actually, you do. You don't have to dig in things that you can't resolve, because some things are not resolvable that happen to you. Some things are traumas. But you must acknowledge that they are there, because otherwise these things have power over you. It's simple as that. An unresolved trauma has power over you. You need to disarm it. It's as simple as that. I know I make it sound simple, I know it's not, but when you cut it down to its bare bones, it is that simple. So, a lot of stuff this year, a lot of change, a lot of heavy things, a lot of resolve, a lot of actually a few good things as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to 2026, and I hope it will be a good year of project creativity and so on. And I will use this channel, as I've done in the last couple of months, as a vlog, and maybe, if, as I said in my last video, maybe I will steer it into making some more high productive videos here as well. I think the algorithms will like that. They don't like the vlog format much, because I get it. It's not structured, it's not selling, and I'm using the absolute worst format, a non-face channel. You don't see me, I don't reveal my face, you just hear my voice. And that is difficult to market, and people don't click on those things. I know. It's not just the algorithm's fault, of course. I'm not naive, but yeah. Well, I guess that's the final video for 2025. I don't know. I don't think I have more to say. It's been a long video. Nobody is probably going to watch it all, but if you do, please leave a comment. Just leave a little notice there on how things are going in your life. Are you worried about the future? Do you have thoughts on how to deal with things? And with things, I mean, everything coming with the probably huge shift in societal things coming in the next years, with automation and AI, and God knows all this political thing going on with morons ruling more and more countries in the world. What's your happy thoughts in all of this? Share your most toxic happiness with me, just for fun. And until 2026, have an excellent last few days.